Welcome students. Today we will see about nutrition. What are the types of nutrition and why nutrition is important for us. What is a nutrition? So nutrition is nothing but intake of nutrients. That means, see, when we are doing some work, we need energy. So where we are getting that energy? We are getting that energy by the food we take. Is it clear? So what type of food we take? We take different types of food which contains proteins, nutrients, vitamins, carbohydrates. Is it clear? So nutrition is nothing but intake of nutrients. So does we prepare our food? Not that cooking or that thing. We ourselves, can we prepare the food how plants prepare? See now, what the food we are taking, it comes from plants. That means rice, wheat, maize, fruits, vegetables. These all are the products of plants. Like that, does we produce any product? No, it does not produce any product. So, the organisms which are capable of producing their own food are nothing but called as autotrophs. Is it clear? And the organisms which are not capable of producing but they can consume the food produced by autotrophs is nothing but called as heterotrophic nutrition. Now first we will see what are the types of nutritions. We have two types of nutrition. We have two types of nutrition. One is autotrophic nutrition and so what is autotrophic nutrition? So autotrophic nutrition is nothing but the example mainly here plants, green plants. So whatever the green plants are present in the nature, they will produce the food. How they will produce the food? They will produce the food by a process called as photosynthesis. So what is happening in this? Autotrophic nutrition. So, in general, in nature, we see different types of organisms. Single-celled animals, multicellular animals, plants, animals and everything we will see. Are they producing their own food? No, they are not producing their own food. Only plants that are green in color, that means they contain a chlorophyll pigment. Is it clear? So, those plants are capable of producing food, which is used by all the other living creatures. So this food is prepared by a process called as photosynthesis. So what is happening in photosynthesis? The green plants, is it clear? So what they will do? They will absorb the air, that means the gases present in the air, carbon dioxide, and they will take the sunlight, and from roots they will take the nutrients, simple inorganic nutrients, and as well as water from the roots, and they in presence of sunlight they will produce a food. That means photosynthesis is nothing but a process of preparing food by the plants. In autotrophic nutrition, so what are the things? Plants are the example for autotrophic nutrition. So what is autotrophic nutrition? It is nothing but preparing their own food. Autotrophic nutrition is nothing but preparing their own food. So these are producing the food. So this food will be consumed by other organisms. Is it clear? Heterotrophic nutrition. So what is heterotrophic nutrition? So this is nothing but the organisms which involve heterotrophic nutrition does not prepare their own food, but they will consume the food prepared by autotrophs. So in this, heterotrophic nutrition is again divided into the three forms, that is based on the food we consume. Is it clear? So it is sacrophytic, parasitic and holozoic. So first we will see about holozoic. Holozoic organisms, that means holozoic nutrition is nothing but taking the food in solid form. So for this, example is human beings and animals. Human beings. Why? Because see, the food we take almost will be in a solid form. That means we will take the food as it is. We will cook the food and we will take it. Is it human beings. So next is parasitic. So parasitic is nothing but here the organism obtains its food by living in another organism's body and deriving its food from that organism. So for example, if you see a virus, is it clear? So generally you will get fevers, is it clear, malaria fever or anything. So in that what happens, the virus which is present, so that will be entering our body and that will lie in our body and that will be alive. Okay, and the food we are taking, that food is also being consumed by the virus. So how it is getting its food? From our body. So that type of nutrition is nothing but called as parasitic nutrition. Next is Sacrophytic nutrition. So this is nothing but the organisms will obtain the food by decomposed matter. They will take, that means they will derive their food from the dead and decaying matter. So example you can see, what are the dead and decaying, decomposing matter, you will get the smell. So how that smell is? Because of microorganisms present in that. Is it clear? So that is nothing but called as Sacrophytic nutrition. And so examples for Sacrophytic nutrition is yeast or bread mouse. And for parasitic it is tapeworm or any other microorganisms like virus, lice. Is it clear? So what the yeast? So yeast, in yeast the type of nutrition is Sacrophytic. What yeast will do? So now if you keep, if you take a wheat flour and if you mix it with water and keep for one day, what it happens? It comes a different smell. That means the duff, the wheat duff which is present, so that will be bulged. That means it will swell and you will get a type of smell. Is it clear? So why it is happening? Because the yeast present in it, what it is doing? It is decomposing the carbohydrates present in the wheat. So that's how the yeast is obtaining its food. So for this, you can take the example of preparing idli or dosa batter in your homes. So those also what the moms will do? They will keep the batter overnight in the kitchen. So what happens when you see in the next morning? You will see the foam coming. That means it precipitates and it gets the smell. Is it clear? And another example is for bread mold. So in bread molds also you can see the yeast will be going. That means bread molds you can see spores formation on the bread mold. Next is parasitic. So parasitic is tapeworms. That means for in small children you have observed that doctors or parents saying that you have tapeworms in your stomach. That's why your baby is not eating the food. So that is nothing but this tape digestive system and it takes the food which we have taken it. And next is virus. Virus is nothing but it will be present in our body, and if proper immunity is not there, this virus will become more. That means it doubles and you will get a fever. So this virus is obtaining the food from our body. So that's why it is a parasite. And lice. Lice is nothing but in your hair you will be having the small organisms. Those are nothing but lice. So they feed on our hair. So they are getting the energy from our head. Next, holozoid. So how we are getting the energy? So we are getting the energy by the food we take. So this energy can be used for walking. See, if now I am talking, so that means if I want to talk, I need some energy. So where that I will get that energy? I will get from the food we eat. So these are the three types of nutrition in heterotrophic nutrition. Now we will see how the autotrophs are preparing their food. Is it clear? So the organisms which follow the process of autotrophic nutrition are nothing but called as autotrophs, and the organisms in which heterotrophic nutrition is carried out are nothing but called as heterotrophs. That means autotrophs, for example, what are autotrophs? Plants. And what are heterotrophs? Animals, human beings, animals and microorganisms. Now we will see how the autotrophs prepare their food. So autotrophs prepare their food by a process called photosynthesis. So this photosynthesis mainly happens in the plants. That means it takes place only in plants. Is it clear? So how it is happening? So what? In general, we know how the plants will obtain their food. So what we will do? Suppose if I have planted a plant. So daily I will water it. Is it clear? And where the plant will be kept? It will be kept in the soil. Is it clear? So for photosynthesis to occur, what happens? The first plant will require, that means will acquire its nutrients. That means what are the compounds formed? So that will be obtained from the soil which is present. So from the soil, the roots which are present, they will absorb the nutrients. So these will be simple inorganic compounds. By using roots, they will acquire the simple inorganic compounds that are present in the soil. And we will water it. Is it clear? So like that, the water is also being absorbed by the plants. So these, the nutrients and water which are obtained by the roots are what happens with and these leaves. Okay. So the leaves contain a pigment called as chlorophyll. So this chlorophyll and the light, that means the leaves of plant will have a stomata. So this helps for gases, exchange of gases. Is it clear? So now, so what happens through this chlorophyll and through the light which is entering through leaves, and the simple inorganic compounds and water from the plants is being processed. So the plant prepares its food by using all these compounds and it forms a simple complex compound. That means they will form a complex substance. So plants, by using simple inorganic compounds, water, and in presence of light and pigment chlorophyll, they will produce a complex substances. This is nothing but called as photosynthesis. So these complex substances are nothing but the food prepared by the plant. And also in this is a very big chemical reaction taking place in plants. So there are so many intermediary steps followed in the photosynthesis reaction. So this was the equation given by C.B. Van Neel. He is the scientist who has given this equation. He has said that for every complex substance formed, so it will utilize one molecule of oxygen and one molecule of water. So what he has stated, for every one molecule of substance formed, it will utilize, that means photosynthesis will utilize one molecule of water and one molecule of oxygen. So he has done the experiments to find out the photosynthesis reaction. So this is not the final equation. So only the starting materials and ending products we have obtained. But it is a very big chemical reaction. Several intermediary steps will be formed in this. So what is the photosynthesis reaction? So this is equation which is very important for your exams. So 6CO2, that means plants are using carbon dioxide and water. Is it clear? In presence of sunlight and chlorophyll are producing what? Complex substance, that is nothing but glucose. So plants preparing their food by using carbon dioxide, water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and they are producing the complex substance glucose, and as well as they are producing water and oxygen. So the oxygen which is present in the nature and which we are consuming for our living, that means we are living with oxygen. Without oxygen, life does not exist. So that oxygen is prepared by the plants in the process of photosynthesis. So this photosynthesis reaction, it not only provides food for the organisms, but it also provides oxygen, which is important and which is necessary for the living of an organism. So photosynthesis is the process of green plants preparing food by using carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight. And during the photosynthesis, the oxygen required for the nature and for the living organisms is produced, as well as the photosynthesis mainly responsible for the food production needed for the survival of organisms.